with the server assassin claiming their first kill on none other than ClownPierce. This truly shocked myself and the entirety of the Friend or Foe community. And with a fresh new perspective from ClownPierce, we are able to gather new information on the server assassin, as well as make inferences on the future, the role of the server assassin. But using this information to find out more on the identity of the server assassin, yeah, that's beginning to not be like me. I don't want to be that guy to chase views on the same topic over and over again. So instead, I actually want to take a look at the fight, or the actual duel between the server assassin and ClownPierce, and infer on the future role and impact this server assassin will have on the rest of the series. This was the most hard-fought and emotional fight we've seen so far in the series. In this fight, I made a couple observations that formed the two main talking points that I'm going to discuss. The first being the kit that was used by the server assassin, and the next being the elephant in the room, the reason why the server assassin should have lost their one and only life. Now, the server assassin used a kit that looked like it was for a prolonged fight. A kit that the assassin will need to eliminate someone when they're online. From what we saw, we know it consists of enchanted netherite tools and a sword, as well as a full enchanted netherite armor and enchanted shield. And in terms of healing, I also noticed saturation stews and golden apples. We also know that the server assassin had ender pearls and potions of strength and speed and fire resistance. So overall, a kit for a very well prepared fight. What we are unsure about is whether the server assassin has extra gear sets or potions or materials and other resources in shulker boxes in their ender chest, as well as if the server assassin is replenishing their supplies, especially after their duel with Clown, either through grinding themselves, using Clown's gear, or suspectedly having items cheated in. It's clear that the server assassin was made to be outgearing the members, as their goal is to, of course, assassinate and eliminate the main players, Mini, Quiff, SP, and Clown. So this entire kit is fairly reasonable in terms of having to eliminate the players. In the future, I don't believe this kit will develop over time. I think it will stick to the same. And for those who are still trying to figure out who the server assassin might be, you might want to take into consideration that the server assassin used saturation stews. Now, this is some knowledge that probably would have been passed through watching Clown's videos, as he was the one that initially started using saturation stews in the Friend or Foe series. Anyways, now it's time to move on to why the server assassin should have lost their one and only life. There was one moment in the duel that caught my attention, where the server assassin got beamed by one of the wardens and slapped twice really hard in the face by another. This really caught my attention because I'd assume that you probably can't really survive that many hits from a warden, one of the strongest mobs in the game. So I decided to test this and show you why the server assassin should have died at this very moment. First of all, we can determine that the server's difficulty is normal. We know this because in one clip, Clown was beamed by a warden once, with no resistance from an enchanted golden apple, in full diamond prot 4 armor. It dealt 5 hearts, which we can prove right here. Have you know I'm wearing full prot 4 diamond armor? Oh, okay, that hurt. And boom, 5 hearts. And we can prove this in the clip where Clown does take 5 full hearts of damage. Now we can move on to what is actually the problem. How the server assassin probably should have died at this very moment. Now, first of all, we need to get the damage values. So I'm going to try testing it to see the damage that one beam would do to prot 4 netherite armor at normal difficulty. 5 hearts. And then melee hit, 2 hearts. 2.5. 2 hearts, 2.5. 2.5, 2.5. So we would say 2.5 hearts per melee hit, wearing full prot 4 netherite armor at normal difficulty. Now let's review the actual footage of the fight and see how many hits the server assassin took. In the clip, we noticed that the server assassin got beamed twice and then slapped twice by 2 wardens. Taking into account the damage that we tested and proved, the server assassin should have died. But wait, we need to look at some other factors. First one being saturation, the natural healing that occurs when eating food items. Assuming that the server assassin had a full saturation at the beginning when they first got beamed, where the server assassin did pull out a saturation stew but could not eat it fully as Clown pearled down and started to hit him. To visualize saturation, I'm going to be using the Apple Skins fabric mod, where the yellow outlines over the hunger bar represents the saturation, and when the exhaustion bar, the grey pixels, reaches its max, the saturation bars are then converted to health. The exhaustion will increase slowly as time goes on, but as soon as you eat a food item, it will replenish a lot quicker. That's why as soon as you eat a food item, your health will replenish fast, but it will slowly decrease in the rate that it replenishes. So assuming that the server assassin had a full saturation at the beginning when he first took the first beam from the warden, we can try and attempt to recreate it. Although the times would be kind of wrong, it's as close as we're going to get. First hit. Second hit. Start once, start twice. So, it does look... I'm gonna die. It looked like I survived on 2 hearts. So I did survive on 2 hearts, but we do have to take into account one more factor. Damage ticks. This will further disprove that the server assassin could have died in this situation, but it just goes to show how close the server assassin could have been to death. Basically, upon hitting an entity, you will apply a damage tick onto that entity, which lasts 0.5 seconds or 30 frames given the footage has been shot at 60 frames per second. Damage ticks play an important role in PvP to make sure that players do not get comboed immediately, just like in 1.8 combo duels, where each hit is applied and registered. In terms of the hits that the server assassin took from the wardens, we're going to be talking about the damage ticks that occurred when Clown was hitting the server assassin and when the warden was also hitting the server assassin. Essentially, the first damage tick occurring from the first source of damage is the damage that the server assassin will take. In this case, it is Clown's critical hits, which deal less damage than the warden's hard-hitting slaps. So while it did look like that visually the warden did hit the server assassin, those hits weren't registered, rather the knockback was, but not the actual damage. Instead, the server assassin took the damage from Clown's critical hits with strength 2. My level of understanding in damage ticks isn't all that reliable, so don't put it all on me to understand how damage ticks work. If you want to, you can look up videos or search on the web, but make sure that you do the proper research to understand how damage ticks work. This is just a general understanding that I've got. It's clear that after this duel, there is now a shift in the balance of power on the server. Now, despite the gear disadvantages and all of that, ClownPierce has been dethroned as the leading member of the server. But this doesn't mean that the server assassin has a possibility of winning the series, because, I mean, that wouldn't really make sense. But the server assassin's role as an assassin will definitely play an important part in the future of the series. The uncertainty that the server assassin brings to the series and the introduction of the server assassin definitely paves a way for there to be more PvP and more action in the series. From what we see, it does look like SB77 might be the next target on the server assassin's hit list, but we will have to wait and see for that to happen. For now, the server assassin has definitely lived up to their expectations from Mini's comments on the server assassin's skill. They are definitely a worthy adversary and has become the most feared player on the server. If you made it this far, there's this thing that they added to YouTube where if I say subscribe, I think the subscribe button like lights up, and then when I say like button, the like button lights up. So I don't know, it's really cool. If you want to, you can check that out. That'd be really cool, and it'd be really nice if you clicked on either of those.